Alright, we are back following the journeys of Flash taking on the world. This time he has again punched in random into the matchmaker on ladder, and he has run into a barcoded Terran, and he has drawn everybody's favorite race, Protoss. So if you get an opportunity to play Protoss on Eclipse, it's probably like, I don't know, an early birthday present, who knows. But yeah, if I get some games of flashes that I'm casting, I have not necessarily gone by length, which means that there could be some sneaky compilation series combinations of games. I'm streaming live at the moment on Twitch and on YouTube, so what I may very well do is just take compilations of games and mash them together as series. So if it does not seem like a seamless, well-coordinated planned thing, it's because it's not, and I'm totally chilled with that. Anyway, right, so we have done a pylon and we have dispatched our scout, which seems to just be teeing up the gas steal. Flash would have had his gas stolen as a Terran a million times, so this is probably not going to be a very big deal for this Terran either. He tries to block it, but he can't get it done. So the gas steal is done and the mana pylon. So Flash showing his Terran friend no mercy, no compassion, no, my fellow Terran brethren, I will not do to thee what gets done to me. None of that crap. 2 mana pylons. What is happening here? This is like cheese with mozzarella. This is funky stuff, man. Really, really funky stuff. I like this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So the gas steal is complete. He's got two SCVs trying to kill this pylon, 2 SCVs trying to kill this pylon, and he's got 1 trying to kill this pylon. And now his probe is still going around. Let's see what he's doing behind this. He's now starting his gateway. So that's basically it. It is his gateway and these pylons, and that's pretty much what we see, and some non-stop probe production. So 2 of the 3 pylons do go down. It's questionable the value that Protosses get. Like, it's very hard, especially when this happens to you and you're playing. You don't really know who has benefited, where you are in the game, where you play from here. So they've been tidied up. The gas will be taken. The probe that was supposed to kind of stay in the base, I guess, to try and retake the gas, which is the ultimate mean-ass thing to do, is gone. So he's got 3 Marines, and he's sending his scouting SCV. When he gets there, what's he going to find? He's going to find a gateway, and he's going to find a nexus. So the question that will now happen is, once he kills the simulator and takes his gas, he will have 4 Marines available. Does he just march those 4 Marines across the map and try and micro against a single zealot? Does not look like that's the only plan. So yes, that is the plan, but I think the command center is going to go down now. Okay, so command center goes down, Marines are on the way, and the Nexus has been scouted, so he knows he's safe. Very unlikely that Splash is going to have anything other than basically a zealot. Is he going to try and build a bunker here to try and kill this Nexus? I think bunker rushing the Nexus would be quite sweet in terms of revenge. So, yep. Flash is making a second zealot though, so it's arguable that the time on this is fairly limited. Although here come the boys, he's sending them a lot. Here come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SCVs, a whole heap of Marines. That Nexus is going to go down. He's had to pull probes as well. So the bunker rush, he pulls the zealot back now. The zealot does get 1 Marine kill. There are still 4 available. Let's put the health bar on him. Okay, so this zealot is still pretty healthy, but they got inside the bunker. I don't know if they're going to have the range to hit the Nexus though. So that's going to be really, really annoying. He may have to build another one, although, oh no, they are hitting it. They are hitting it. They are in range. So he's going to knock this down. His own command center is going to come up without a problem. And I just don't see Flash getting this one across the line. I think he got a little bit too cheeky with that cheesing, and he's got a goon. He can't save his his Nexus. That's going to go down. He will eventually kill this with the ranged goons. But the question will just be, is he not too far behind? And I reckon the answer is yes. So sending his SCVs back home to mine. Just got the 2 Marines in the bunker. It's going to keep one, maybe just to repair, just to delay his ability to expand once again. There's nothing else behind this. He doesn't have any other tricks or any other ideas. How far away is range? It's still too far away. Once he goes up here to the ramp and sees your command center is already done, he realizes it's just too far gone. He could have held this with SCVs, a little bit of decent micro. That's the end of that one. Fun game. Flash tries to triple mana pylon, it backfires, and he takes a loss. He saw the factory, yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. Once the factory's up, then the vulture will pop out, makes his ability to come out or come back virtually impossible. Spot on. All right, so another Chronicles of Flash, a little short one this time. So let's see what else we add onto this little compilation of games. All right, so it turns out they queued up another game basically right afterwards, because this replay pack I have is date and sequence checked. That's the naming convention. These all come from qual.gg, CWAL.gg. So if you ever want to download the ladder games of any players, all you need to know is their ladder ID, and then you can watch anyone play. It's really quite awesome. It's taken down a lot of the barriers for content creation, casting, people who just wanted to be able to see the best players in the world play on ladder. So yeah, access to these replays is fantastic. So kudos to the guy at quell.gg. He does have a Patreon. If you support what he's doing, then I think by all means it's a very worthy cause to do. Okay, so these two played another game, this time on Polypoid, so less of a cheesy map, more of a macro map generally speaking. That being said, the probe of flashes is already out, so he's drawn Protoss again, and he's decided, well, if it doesn't work once, try it again. So he's basically gone for a probe scout. He sees the barracks, and I think he's going to gas steal on Polypoid. And gas steal confirmed. That's so tilting. Alright, well, if it didn't work the first game, there was obviously nothing wrong with the theory. What does seem different, though, is he's not doing the mana pylons. So maybe that was what he decided to adjust. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Just playing some chilled out, copyright free beats in the background instead of the Starcraft music. I think people are just so tired of the Starcraft music, and I enjoy, especially if you're streaming live like I am now on Twitch and YouTube, just to have something to listen to and to give the viewers something to listen to. It's just, yeah, it's just nice. Makes the whole process more relaxing. So our Terran sends out his scout to go check what the hell is going on. I think he's just going to assume that it's close spawns because of how fast he was found. And once again, he has the joyous task of destroying the offensive gas. Tilting, indeed. Zealot on the way, second Zealot incoming. I guess the difference is there's no delay on the Zealots because he hasn't spent 300 minerals on 3 mana pylons. So the Zealots can come out and be a nuisance faster, which means that if the Terran does want to throw down his command center, he's going to need at least 3 Marines and a little bit of micro to be able to do so, to fend off what's going to, in essence, be 2 Zealots. He also has a probe here to try and block the command center. But looks like he's just going to try and hold the Zealots off with this 3 Marines and SCV on the ramp. And he has decided to cancel his Nexus. So now he throws down his Nexus. Interesting. And I think that's going to be a bunker. So throws down his command center, is now going to fight against the Zealot, who with I think a little bit of micro is going to see his death pretty rapidly. Yep, that's the end of that. That's the end of the probe. Flash sending another Zealot here, and the bunker is filled, and the Zealot goes home to tell his friends that it is not a good place. How many Zealots has this guy made? Holy crap. I guess he's just thought he's gassed now in his cybernetics core, so the Zealot is the only unit he can really make. So floating his barracks, factory should be incoming soon as he has the necessary gas to take it. And now we're probably going to see the game normalize. Cybernetics core, gateway, let's go. Normal games, yay! Incoming Nexus, should see a probe transfer, nice timing for Flash, wouldn't expect anything less. Alright, where's our first factory? There it is, hello. Alright, so it's going to probably just be 2 factories, yep. So you're just getting things kicked into gear. Should see an eBay, Academy, etc. Momentarily, we'll have to see if this Terran wants to take quite an aggressive approach, or if it's going to take a more passive type approach to the game. Higher level players, high level Terrans tend to be a bit more 3-base orientated, a bit more passive in the way that they play the game. They try and make that command center around 8 minutes. Lower level players, yeah, you don't get the same. You just get licorice all sorts. You get Terrans who like to attack. You get 4 factory pushes, 5, 6 factory pushes. You get all sorts of things. But at this level, people tend to play properly at the risk of being stereotypical. Okay, so there is the eBay, and second factory is on its way. This is probably going to be a depot. And so nothing really too exciting happening at this stage of the game. We're just basically probably going to go 2-gate observer. That would be your robotics. So both just bog standard plays at this stage. Couple of goons out and about on the map. Probably just to put a bit of pressure on the bunker. I like this. Well, this bunker placement's quite interesting. It's pretty far back. Usually the barracks is slightly behind the bunker, and the bunker's like here. Anyway, it's a bit weird, but okay. It's gonna float. He's got a couple of SCVs in position, expecting the Marines, the goons to pressure. Obviously, range. It's not done yet. He's getting siege mode, so he's playing pretty safe. I think once Flash sees siege mode, he's going to feel free to start expanding again. And he wants to block this SCV getting in, and I think he's going to get the block on time. So that's fine. Just doesn't scout the tech tree, but I mean, I think he knows what there is to know, which is that there's an observatory and a citadel coming in. Okay, so maybe an arbiter build. You don't get the citadel this early if you don't want to do some sort of Templar tech tree. You usually wait until you're on 3 bases, especially if you want to play like a robo support base style. So I've actually got no idea how Flash would play Protoss against Terran. Obviously he would choose the style that he doesn't like to play against, you would imagine, but yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Okay, siege mode, siege mode. Doesn't care about siege mode, just goes for it, jumps on top of these tanks. I don't. Okay, no, that was not good. I think he lost 3 units and he got a tank. That yeah. Well, you confirm siege mode. Definitely siege mode. So there's no mines, vultures with mines due to come and bother you at any time. And Terran quite enjoying what had happened there, so just moves his siege tanks forward. And now wants to just try and see where these goons are. He knows that they've just backed away slightly. So I think Flash will just be a nuisance with these Dragoons, keeping them here. Looking at trying to block or at least slow down the expansion of the third. Looking in the production tab of our Terran, we're getting speed for vultures, we're getting mines for vultures, we're getting vultures, and we are getting an armory. So does look like it's going to be a 3-base build as predicted. But that being said, because of that little failed push from Flash, I think the Terran feels like he could probably take down these Dragoons here. Although Flash sees it differently. They are unsieged, and a decent bit of micro picks up 1 tank. He's probably going to get a second here, so he's going to lose 6 Dragoons in total, and he gets 2 tanks for it. I don't know if that was a good trade. What does he have at home to defend? Okay, so he's got a decent amount of goons. He knows what's coming. I don't see an observer here or in the vicinity to block the mines. Still just on 2 bases at this stage of the game. And that doesn't seem to be too much of a concern. He's probably just going to resaturate and double expand. There is that observer. So he's going to have to tidy up this little minefield that's going to slow everything down. Got another observer here in the natural to see, is the Terran going to expand, and if so, when? So tidying up the minefield. sending his probe to expand soon, I would presume. More mines here. I don't think Protoss normally wants to expand here anyway. This is the 4th base location, and then this is the 5th base location. So Terran just going to take this command center on location, feeling very confident with that counterplay. It was very nicely done. Flash is only ahead by 4 supply at this stage of the game, which as Protoss you don't want to be. You want to be a little bit further ahead for sure. Does throw down this Nexus here. It's pretty unprotected, so Vultures could come up from this side, kill this probe. The goons are patrolling the map though, so could probably at least see it coming. But just was doing a mine sweep. Got a lot of APM to use at this level. So might as well find some productive things to do with it. So a nice sprinkling of goons all around the map. And a lovely spread of vultures and mines. Got great vision, this Terran. Can see everywhere. The movements, if he's going to go down and across, trying to harass his base. This is definitely high level skillful play for sure. Oh, he's just sending this probe here, naked. Okay, well that's not going to work out well, mate. He's got a vulture here. So dead probe. Ouch. Surprised he wanted to take this base. You know, you're taught never to expand towards Terran, because they just don't have to go very far from sort of here to there to start blowing up your pylons and like harassing this base. Some vultures have come across here, but Flash's goons were very much in position to intercept those. No problem at all. Some zealots have been made. I just need to go back to his main in a jiffy to see. It is arbiters. Okay, so he's gone with a 2-base arbiter build. So how much energy does my arbiter friend have? He's got 63. He's getting stasis is the first thing that he's researching. Does he have a forge researching anything at this stage? Yeah, so he's getting +1 ground, which is what you would expect with this build. Is going for a 4th base. I don't know if he had an observer fly across here or into the main to scout that it was only 5 factories at this stage. Again, just tidying up the minefields, reducing the vision of the Terran, giving him more concerns about am I going to get pressure here, although this is it's okay. So he confirms the location of the base. I think he knew it was there, but you sometimes just send your observers across to make sure. This has got good defense against recall. This has got good defense against ground units. This is very, very solid. Okay, so cleaning up the mines here, reducing the vision of the Terran. Does this have enough energy? It does. So he can stasis if he wants to. It looks like it's a stasis attack. Here he comes in. I don't see any zealots. Here come the zealots behind the stasis. Got to hit the stasis. Does. That's quite a juicy stasis. He gets 3 vultures, 2 tanks. Although the tank line here is quite deep, and the vultures are getting in between the zealots and the tanks. I think our Terran's going to be more than okay here. Does have to scan to see the vultures, which does give him an opportunity to get on top of the tanks. Decent micro though with the vultures, in good position. Although there's still zealots. That's always the question. For how long the attack's been going, how many zealots do I still have? He's still got about 3 or 4 zealots left. So this actually did a lot more damage than I thought it would. The stasis though was pretty handy, taking those tanks out of the contest. Some tanks do siege up here on the high ground. Some vultures come out of the reinforcing factories. And that is going to be the end of those zealots and be the end of the attack. Although some more zealots have come through here. So just from the reinforcing, he's just sending zealot after zealot after zealot. And he's going to have to micro and get his tanks up on the high ground. Unfortunately, his units kind of tripping over each other here. This is Brood War. That does happen. Super tilting. But he does hold on. He does stop sending in more zealots, realizing now that it's not going to be an efficient trade. That's the end of that. Does take the 4th base behind this very, very quickly, actually. Excuse me, that's the 4th base. This is the 3rd. So does put a cannon in play. Does add a few more cannons here for to block any vulture harassment. He's got his rally point here. He's got 2 arbiters now. How many stargates have we got? So it's just 1 stargate constantly manufacturing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he did that push off of 6 gates. So just showing the power of always hitting your macro. This zealot comes here to absorb A few mine hits and down goes this Nexus in full sight of the Terran, so I won't be surprised if a hit squad of vultures is dispatched pretty soon to go and harass, possibly from down here, just to kill the probe and to maybe slow this down. So let's see, there goes some vultures. I saw some movement, but they're just throwing down some mines. Looks like a Terran might use this as an opportunity to establish a fourth base of their own. Not pylon walling here, surprisingly. So basically that just means that any units can walk up here. So siege tank can come up here, siege up over there, and just cause you all sorts of grief. So a bit surprised to see that, to be honest. And here they do come, with no pylon wall to block them. Sending in 12 vultures is just... You're going to lose a lot of probes, but it is difficult for them to like, directly get at the cannons here based on the placement of the pylons, so that's fine. More mine sweeping happening here. That's all that Flash is doing with his Dragoons and his APM, just mine sweeping. Spending his money. Only 54 workers, which, you know, if you're taking a 4-base approach is probably a bit too little. You expect to have about 60. He has a recall incoming. So let's see. He looks really well prepared for this, though. Is he actually going to think better of it? No, he's still going to go for it. So here they go. Turret, 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 turret. Boom! So somehow got away from a lot of the mines. That was very decently done. He's going to get the armory, which is super painful because that upgrade is literally just about to finish. Ow, that really hurts. So he would have had 2-1. Now he's still stuck on 1-1. That could really be huge within the context of this game. Otherwise, recalls, man, the more I learn about this game, the more I come to believe that recalls and arbiter play, particularly at high levels, is just relatively obsolete. Terran players, when they have their tech out, are just so good at handling it. I question the amount of damage and the effectiveness of that recall. It does deny the upgrade, okay, that's cool, but he loses a lot of units. Terrans sometimes, once they defend a recall, just amass all their army and move across the map. And then Protoss has got grief, man. Taking another sneaky base down here. No mines or anything patrolling that side, so that's pretty decent from Flash. Unlikely that Terran's going to come and check that spot. They've laid mines in all of the, you know, next expansion spots that you would expect, and just obviously this one didn't make the cut, and neither did this one, and I guess that's a more sneaky expansion pattern. 2-1 from Flash, so it is ticking off, so it does theoretically have a upgrade advantage on the Terran, which is very unusual. So I guess that is a little bit of the value of that recall. Getting that armory, I mean, that upgrade was so close, man. It really was a little bit unlucky, to be fair. Another recall. I heard it flying in. I just don't see these achieving anything. I really don't. I mean, now Terran pulls ahead supply-wise. All of these Dragoons die. We have one missile turret on fire. He doesn't really lose anything in terms of workers. Yeah, I just question the style of play. And I think Terran, realizing that he killed a lot of units there and didn't really lose too many himself, is going to now push forward and establish this position. Adding a few workers. The one thing I'll say about this Terran is that he does have relatively low SCV count, and I think a couple of SCVs did die because of the location of these recalls. But yeah, like I said, very questionable value from 2 recalls so far in this game. Flash again, expanding in a spot where there really wasn't much in terms of line of sight. And our Terran has been blocked from defending this position. So he's got a couple of goons here, and he has some zealots here. He's got 3 arbiters, so we zoom out just for the purposes of trying to see, does he take this fight? I really don't think he can, unless he stasises these tanks, which are really clumped. He's going to have to hit the stasises without EMP. He gets a nice stasis off there. I think he's going to need another one, though. He does hit another stasis, although the vultures coming in from this side and the vultures coming in from the other side are just going to tear up these zealots like they are putty. There is nothing here to kill the army. So yes, you can freeze everything, but they unfreeze. That's why I'm just lost so much faith in this stasis style. You don't see good players, you don't see good Protosses do this anymore. They do not go recall, stasis. They play speed shuttle, high Templars, lots of expansions, reinforcing power. I mean, in this game, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Flash's total gateway count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't win. You just don't win with 10 gates in late game PvT. It's impossible. At this stage of the game, if you've played the more meta speed shuttle, so you open Reva and then you end up doing speed shuttle, high Templars, and gateways. And at this stage of the game, you should have about 18 gateways. You should be reinforcing at least from this second main, and you should be trying to establish this third. Because freezing this whole army, which is what he did here, it just froze it. And then all his units that he wanted to attack with were killed by the vultures. So it's unfortunately an expired way to play. It doesn't work. It works at lower levels where the Terrans are not strong. But at Flash's level, it just does not work. Alright, so that concludes this little two-part series. Flash playing Protoss against this barcoded Terran. He was taken down 2-0, so the challenges that he's facing getting back to his best are still very much there. It's still early days though, and I've got many more games of his to come. So I'll see you next time. Take it easy, man. Cheers.